Good afternoon and welcome to Bobcat Update, where we have news from Texas State University and the Hill Country. I'm Shelby Copeland. Thank you for joining us. Across the nation, the lead item for most newscasts, including ours, is President Trump's announcement that he has the coronavirus. The announcement came just hours after Hope Hicks, one of the president's top aides, tested positive for COVID-19. Several of the president's upcoming scheduled events have been canceled, including a rally in Florida. The president says he and the First Lady, who also tested positive, will quarantine at the White House. Vice President Pence and presidential candidate Joe Biden were both given tests this morning, and the results showed no signs of COVID-19. Millions of people tuned in this week to watch the first 2020 presidential debate, which was dominated by interruptions. Based on the chaotic exchange between President Trump and former Vice President Biden, there's discussions underway about changing how the candidates should interact in future debates, if indeed they are held. Jason Airline reports on what students and alumni say about the debates and why they are important.
After the first night of the 2020 presidential debate series, many Texas State alumni and young adults are questioning whether the debate should continue.
I believe that the people deserve to see a second debate because there was too much talk about what was done and not enough talk about what's going to happen coming forward. We deserve more information.
I definitely think we need both of them because this first one was not the greatest experience.
Yeah, I don't know how much more helpful they'll be because, I don't think anything's going to change. Joe Biden's just going to attack Trump. Trump's just going to attack everything.
I feel like they should be able to give us more information.
Americans hope that the second and third night scheduled for later this month on the 15th and 22nd can bring some more insight and information to the American public. For Bobcat Update, I'm Jason Arline.
The presidential election is already underway for some because early voting has begun in certain states. Many people are still trying to decide how they'll vote this year, whether in person or by mail, and there's of course the choice of voting on Election Day. Bobcat Update's Nicholas Mummy has a story.
Many people want to take part in the 2020 election. Texas State students and San Marcos locals have decisions to make. This election is very important to them and to the nation at large.
That student, the same thing I would tell any voter. I mean, voting is a right that a lot of people fought to give, and a lot of voters cherish that right. So I would tell them it's something that's very important. It's how they choose who their representatives are, and that every vote counts.
Voters have a good reason to be concerned for their safety. The coronavirus affects how people are voting, either at a polling place or by mail.
Hard because you're going to be having not hundreds but thousands of people trying to vote. I think to me the critical thing is going to be wearing your mask.
The polling places are expected to follow CDC guidelines in the best way possible, as in the previous election. The early voting will be open for 3 weeks. For more information, go to hayescounty.tx and click on the Elections tab. For Bobcat Update, I'm Nicholas Mummy.
Students gathered for a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest this week at the Fighting Stallion statue on campus. The protest was organized by a group of students who spoke about police brutality targeted at the Black community and innocent lives lost to racially motivated violence. The speakers at the protest emphasized the importance of voting and the reality of voter suppression in the United States. Students marched with posters from the Stallion statue to the Hays County Historic Courthouse to continue the protest. Outside the courthouse, students were able to register to vote if they hadn't already. The coronavirus has affected millions of people across the world, and for some, the pandemic has hit very close to home. Mackenzie Harrison talked to two students for whom this story is very personal.
For several months, people have watched the world change in response to COVID-19. They wear face masks and follow social distancing requirements. The pandemic has raised fear and it's brought hardship.
At first, I didn't believe it. I had the symptoms. I knew I had it, but at the same time, I was like, no, there's no way. But then I also kind of expected it because I went to one thing. There was a bunch of people around. I was probably around 50 people, so I was it was bound to happen. But overall, I wasn't too shocked by it, just because I had all the symptoms and I was pretty positive. I just had to tell people that I was around. I was kind of scared to do, but really other than that, I was chilling.
The virus has symptoms that affect everybody differently, and some people have experienced symptoms long after they recovered.
I still can't smell or taste after a month. Yeah, today's been 4 weeks. a month. I still can't. I feel like I can taste some things. Maybe like, I mean, I know if something's super salty, sour, like pickled, like pickles or like banana peppers. Whenever I go to Sonic, I like to get like the sour drinks because I can taste like, I can feel the sour, I can feel the spice, I just can't taste it. But I can't smell a wink of anything.
A lot of people have fully recovered from the coronavirus, but not everyone is so lucky. With mixed reports about the virus and its severity, people just don't know what to expect when a family member tests positive.
Back in like May, our uncle, he was, of course, diagnosed, and he was like in the ER with COVID, and it was pretty jarring, which at the time we thought it's gonna be all right, and we were all kind of like joking about it. And then a month passed, and the doctors were like, we're putting him in a medically induced coma. And we were like, I guess it's gonna be a bit more than that. And that's when we all started freaking out. Literally within 24 hours, he was gone. It's a long-winded thing, but it has a quick freaking end, and it can come at any time.
For Bobcat Update, I'm Mackenzie Harrison.
The flu season is upon us, and local pharmacies are braced for a higher demand for shots amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Walgreens, Rite Aid, and CVS are purchasing more vaccines to meet the expected surge. Flu and COVID-19 lead to respiratory symptoms, and severe cases may require hospitalization. New tests for screening are being developed to help those who get ill learn quickly which kind of virus they have. Under many health insurance plans, there are no out-of-pocket costs to get a flu vaccination. A Texas state club is using its talents and resources to spread awareness of suicide prevention and to promote better mental health among college students. Bobcat Update's Reginald Jones has the story.
According to the website collegesafe.com, more than 1,000 college students die from suicide each year in the United States, making it one of the leading causes of death among students. Hip Hop Congress is giving Texas State students the ability to connect with others through music in an attempt to lower the number of deaths. The group is hosting live-streamed performances to promote suicide prevention.
We're doing a little tiny desk session for suicide awareness because it is Suicide Awareness Month. And so what we're doing is we're having artists from Texas State to come and, perform songs that are really directed towards struggles through like mental illness and stuff like that. But all of the comments and likes and retweets, proceeds, they will go to supporting suicide awareness.
Although the reach of Texas State Hip Hop Congress is limited to the San Marcos area, its members feel that music is a powerful tool that can be used to reach people's hearts worldwide.
Well, I think a lot of people would say that music has saved them. You go to a lot of meet and greets, and that's what someone will say to the artist, like, hey, like, thank you, like, this saved my life, like, listening to your music helped uplift me.
To see the performances, visit the group's Twitter page at TXStateHHC. For Bobcat Update, I'm Reginald Jones.
Leasing season has begun for off-campus student apartments. With the uncertainty of when classes will completely return to being in person, many students may be hesitant to sign new leases for the 21 to 22 school year. Bobcat Update's Jolene Polanco has more.
Due to COVID-19, many college students decided to stay home and not move into student apartments for the current school year. Now that leasing season has begun, students have to make the difficult decision of deciding whether they should sign a lease at an apartment for next school year.
I think that I would go ahead and sign a lease now because I feel really comfortable in San Marcos and I don't want to be doing a lot of traveling, especially with the pandemic. I think it's easier to kind of stay put right now, hope for the best.
Most off-campus student apartments tend to offer lower rates the earlier you sign, giving many students an incentive to sign as soon as leasing season begins. Leasing managers are doing their best to inform prospective residents of the benefits to signing a lease, even though there is so much uncertainty.
When you go to college, you don't want to be in your parents' apartment or you don't want to be in your parents' home. It's about like getting out with your friends and being inside of an environment that is like more so, I guess, yourself, or it's about you.
Apartment complexes such as Red Point are hoping that not only their property, amenities, and dog friendliness, but also their positive attitude will help with students signing leases. They expect to still get a good amount of leases for the upcoming year. For Bobcat Update, I'm Jaylene Polanco.
When we come back, we'll tell you about how some students are traveling across campus and what student organizations are doing to stay active. You're watching Bobcat Update.
For over 20 years, the Calaboose Museum has been teaching the community of San Marcos about its rich African American history. founded by Johnny Armstead. The museum is a great place for people who are curious to learn more about the history of San Marcos and the significant events and people who shaped the area. Learn about Lucas Jackson, the former Olympic gold medalist and NBA All-Star, or Eddie Durham, the jazz musician and pioneer of his industry, both born and raised in San Marcos. Or learn about the role of African Americans played in conflict. Read about Buffalo Soldiers, the Tuskegee Airmen, and the roles African Americans played in World War II. Or about the role San Marcos played in the Civil Rights Movement. Read about which leaders had the biggest impact in the fight for justice, and see the robes of the Klan members who opposed them. The Calaboose Museum, located on 200 West Martin Luther King Drive. Calaboose Museum, open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or by appointment.
A new form of transportation is now available to students and residents alike. Bobcat Update's Brady Powers has the story.
Texas State and the city of San Marcos have agreed to a pilot program that involves scooters. The deal brings 150 spin electric scooters to campus, and the city will supply an additional 50 a little later. Residents are looking forward to the new rides.
I'm one of the students who takes, Ubers to classes wherever I need to go. But now that the spin scooters are here, it's so much cheaper for me to get it from point A to point B. Why would I take the Uber anymore?
Scooters will cost $1 to unlock and an extra 29 cents per each minute of use. They will be available from 6:30 in the morning to 11:30 at night.
I think the pricing is fair because you wouldn't spend more than like $2 a ride. And I think that the time limit's fair because I don't want people riding around past midnight and causing accidents while they're drunk.
The city hopes the scooters will address transportation needs caused by COVID-19. Fewer people have been willing lately to use buses and local ride shares out of fear they could be exposed to the virus. For Bobcat Update, I'm Brady Powers.
Student organizations are creating new strategies to stay active during the pandemic while trying to keep their members safe. Bobcat Update's Lorenza Zu Beltran has the story.
The Public Relations Student Society of America and the Hispanic Business Student Association at Texas State have changed how they meet this semester. They're having very limited in-person gatherings and social events. More likely these days they have Zoom meetings. One of the current challenges is being able to raise money for their organizations at a time when members cannot still on campus.
We've been kind of having to figure out different ways of, still having fundraising ideas and good ones that can help bring in, profit and help keep supporting the organization.
Student safety is important, prompting organizations to enforce the wearing of masks when they meet in person.
HBSA is creating and trying to find new innovative ideas that will keep our members safe and allowed within the Texas state restrictions and guidelines.
Every year, incoming students are the organization's main target as they attempt to recruit new members.
Our goal is to expand our membership and keep providing as many resources as we can to ensure the success of all of our members. So that's really what we're pushing for.
There are more than 400 student organizations at Texas State. The Student Involvement Office is located in the LVJ Student Center. For Bobcat Update, I am Aranzazu Beltran.
Food insecurity is not knowing if you have enough food to live a healthy and active lifestyle. Bobcat Bounty, Texas State's student-run food pantry, started in 2018 as a grocery-style pantry that tries to help students, faculty, and staff with food insecurity. However, since the coronavirus pandemic hit, Bobcat Bounty has changed the way it operates. Now the program is doing curbside pickup with pre-packaged groceries so that it can continue to help the community while complying with safety guidelines. Fall semester distributions are every Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. in the Midi parking lot. Students must reserve a time slot beforehand. COVID-19 has forced certain businesses to close, but it has also provided opportunity. Bobcat Update's Tiger Shi has the story.
It is challenging to open a business at this time. There are legitimate concerns about whether customers will turn out and whether profits are even possible. Business owners will do what they can to make it work.
We advertised only one newspaper one time. And then I don't believe it wasn't super successful, but actually people look at it, they bring the coupon from the newspaper. So there was only one thing we did, just promotion for the one newspaper.
Some of the new businesses are doing well enough to hire more workers.
When I was taking the 2 months off because of the COVID, I took 2 months off, basically unemployed, and then came back in. It was a slow start. I like it though. I'm glad, I'm grateful.
Businesses may have been heavily impacted. Despite this, new ones emerge, operating normally. For Bobcat Update, I'm Tiger Sheep.
San Marcos restaurant Grins has slowly adapted to the new COVID-19 regulations placed on it by the state. Bobcat Update's Mary Wynand has the story.
Currently, Grins is only allowed to use 75% of its seating capacity. Because of the limits on dine-in customers, the restaurant is handling a lot of to-go orders, which, for the first time, includes alcohol. Grins has run promotions for its famous margaritas while also introducing family deals.
Since the start of COVID, to-go orders have been pretty crazy. We've been selling a lot of those family packs because we only do those for to-go, and then a lot of to-go margaritas. People just haven't been wanting to come inside and sit down, which is totally understandable.
The impact of the coronavirus has affected many, and Grins is no exception.
It's nothing to joke about or to play about. It's real serious, and we're going to make it. If we can get through December of this year, we're going to be fine. And it's been, like I said, the hardest 6 months of all the years Grins has been here.
Grins has taken safety measures by mandating masks everywhere in the restaurant except while eating at a table. The restaurant also has a sanitizing station set up as soon as you walk in and extra masks available to those who may have forgotten theirs or do not have one. Grins hopes to get back to a new normal as soon as possible. But until then, you can still get a 99-cent marg and a chicken fried chicken to enjoy in the comfort of your own home. For Bobcat Update, I'm Mary Wynand.
For the past few months, the San Marcos Premium and Tanger outlets have been closed because of the coronavirus pandemic. About a month ago, stores started to reopen, but with limited capacity. Safeguards have been implemented at many of the outlets. The stores now have plexiglass shields at cash registers, stickers on floors to maintain social distancing, hand sanitizing stations, and face mask requirements. During the week, there aren't as many shoppers, which makes it safer for all concerned. People are following rules of social distancing and wearing face masks. Earlier this week, Bobcat Update's Leah Lanfear explored the impact of the pandemic on the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. She now has more on the story.
While the enforcement arms of the U.S. immigration system have pressed forward through the pandemic, USCIS temporarily suspended in-person services and left legal immigrants in the United States with limited options.
Downsides of the flights going between US and China, so there's very limited flights. It's very hard to book one, and then once your application if it's got rejected, you have to leave the country immediately.
While many who became stranded in the U.S. applied for extensions of their tourist visas, many do not know if their applications have been approved or denied.
They do not get the results, and then they go back. And in the future, if they want to visit, will there be any problem on their visa? Because in your passport, your visa record may show you overstay.
The pandemic response has touched each part of the U.S. immigration system and includes some of the administration's boldest actions on immigration to date. For Bobcat Update, I'm Leah Lanfear.
The first comedy show in months was held in Austin Monday night, with many eager fans of live comedy coming to see the performances. Cameron Gernon has the story.
The citywide shutdowns here in Austin have hit the comedy scene pretty hard. Iconic locations like Cold Town Theater and Cap City Comedy have had to close indefinitely, but that's not stopping the scene from bubbling back up.
A stand-up set was held at Cherrywood Coffee House in East Austin this past Monday night. Fans were sequestered at tables, and mask requirements were in place for anyone not sitting down. In compliance with city mandates, capacity was held at 75%, which was good enough for fans to feel safe.
Seemed to be pretty well distanced, and they put some thought into it. It'd be interesting to see kind of how it looks going forward, since this was their first night, but overall, it's a pretty good experience.
While the comedy scene is being revitalized, there are key venues of the recent past that may never reopen in Austin.
Cap City was very unique. The ownership was unique and supportive of the local scene, and we have to be hopeful that whatever club opens in its place is going to be equally as supportive of local comics and not just focus on national touring comics.
The Cherrywood comedy sets will continue to be held weekly as long as the city doesn't change the rules. Venues will operate at a reduced capacity in compliance with coronavirus precautions. This should give the Austin comedy scene a chance to get back on its feet. For Bobcat Update, I'm Cameron Gernon.
That's all for this edition of Bobcat Update. We'll return next week with more news from Texas State University and San Marcos. I am Shelby Copeland. Stay well.